Join me this weekend for a very slow summer sewing weekend. I have a fully free weekend, which means that I can dedicate a lot of time to sewing, knitting, crafts, and I think we might also make pizzas today. So we've got lots to look forward to. Recently, we also went to one of the absolute highlights of our calendar year, which is Potfest. It's a big pottery and ceramics festival that me and my family go to every year. We've been going for, honestly, must be 15 years now, and they have different events and exhibitions all over the country. We used to often go to the Lake District, and now I live in the Midlands. This year we decided to go to Compton Verney. It's one of the Potfests in the park, so it's in this gorgeous green setting by a lovely lake, and they also have an art gallery there and tons of incredible potters and ceramicists come from across the country to sell their amazing collections, from little ornaments all the way up to massive sculptures and vases and all sorts. It's always an absolute joy. We love going. It was very, very warm, so that slowed our progress a little, but certainly it didn't hold us back. I have a lot of pots and ceramics that I have picked up over the years, so I am slightly lacking space for new things and I have to be really selective now. Although I have told Connor that we need 2 really long shelves in the kitchen, because I think that will really help get some more space so I can maybe collect a few more things. And now what I'm going to be doing this weekend is making some progress on my summer sewing projects that I have on the go. I also have some knitting on the go as well, so I hopefully will make some progress on those projects. And I would love to do some reading because I've been stuck on the same book for weeks and weeks, it feels like. I'll start by running through the projects that I have on the go. This week in the evenings, I decided to cut out my pieces for lane pants. I've had the lane pants pattern for a little while, and this lovely blue seersucker striped cotton. And because I don't have any little binding pieces, I'm thinking that this may be a slightly less fiddly project and good for a beginner. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that. I have cut a size 10, but I am only 5'1", so I have just altered the pattern slightly to take 3 inches out of the leg and 1 inch out of the rise. So I will see how my moderations and alterations go and whether I have done it correctly. We shall see, time will tell. And the second thing I have right here on the go is this green Sid tie top, which I started a couple of videos ago. I am up to the final stages. I have cut out my ties and my binding, but I was having real trouble getting the ties neat. In that video, I asked for everybody's opinion whether I should try and keep going with the linen that I was working with, or whether I should instead opt for a gingham cotton that I had, which I thought was going to be sturdier. Now, it was an absolutely unanimous vote for keep going with the linen, but I got some really, really helpful comments to try and cut the ties against the grain instead of on the bias, which people said is going to really help with the kind of warping of the ties. So I think the plan for this one is going to be persevere with the binding that I have cut, see how well I get on, because it is going to be, I think, really fiddly to bind the armholes, but I think I am going to recut my ties and see if I can make them a bit neater, because I did end up with some little creasing because of just struggling with the bias of these pieces. I think I'm going to start with the lane pants because I'm super excited to make a start and see how they kind of go, and I just want to still stall on doing the really fiddly stuff at the top. So I made a major mistake with my zig tie top, which I did show in that video where I started it, which was that I accidentally sewed the whole of the bottom like peplum piece on the wrong way and had to kind of unpick the whole thing and redo it. So what I've done with my pattern pieces this time is I've put a little bit of masking tape on with a note to tell me which is the right side, because I especially struggle when I have fabric that has two like identical right sides, and also when I have mirrored pieces. And these trousers are just like a lot of sets of mirrored pieces for the front, the back, the pockets. So this time I have marked on which is my right side, and I'm hoping that might, fingers crossed, prevent me from making such a big mistake again. And I'll just show you a little close up of the fabric. It is this lovely blue seersucker cotton, and this is the waistband I have cut with the lines going vertically, which I think is gonna look really nice and kind of elongate the trousers. It's been going well so far. I've been taking it really steady because I just don't want to make any silly mistakes. I'm really pleased I did my right side labels because that has prevented me from getting the right and the wrong sides confused with this similar fabric, and also means like I haven't made two right legs or two left legs. At least I've made two opposite legs, which is definitely going to be necessary. Even when taking like my time and being really steady, I still struggle to get things absolutely exact. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't like add up when I come to sew the pant leg together at the end, because I would really like them to hang nicely and not to have any kind of weird wibbles or wobbles. So I'm just kind of hoping that all will come together well at the end. And I'm hoping that the slight crinkle to the material will kind of hide any minor imperfections and make them look a little bit more seamless than maybe they actually are in construction. At least both pants are looking similar. I might finally be able to listen to a podcast or some music because I've actually just been fully concentrating so far, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. It's also coming together pretty quickly. I've got two constructed or half constructed legs already, which seems like pretty fast for me. I would love to know what you're making for this summer or what you're looking forward to, both sewing patterns that maybe you've had in your stash or new patterns that you've got your eye on coming out, because I would absolutely love to hear what you're making and get some more inspiration. I am thinking that I would quite like to make a matching top for these trousers. I've also got tons of blue material left, like plenty to make a top out of. So if you've got any suggestions for a nice top to go with wide leg trousers, then do let me know. I've got a lot of the main construction done today. Next up, I think we're gonna go and make some pizzas soon, which is gonna be fab. And then I need to spend this evening making a thumbnail and writing the description for my previous video when you're watching this one. I'm really proud of that video. I've spent a long time editing it, so I'm going to spend a bit of time this evening to try and make a really nice thumbnail. But if you haven't seen it already, I make this little wall hanging in a bit of a mini quilt marathon inspired by a quilt exhibition in Bath that Connor and I went to recently. So please do go check out that video after this one if you haven't seen it yet.
Nor a lady, not in the way she walks, the way she talks, or the way she loves me. Just look at me, I'm like a monkey in a coconut tree. You know I'm overjoyed, 'cause boy oh boy, she's my gal. She asks me when I say let's go out dancing. Your place or mine, don't waste my time with romancing. She's wild, she's funny, doesn't care about clothes or money. She just cares for me.
I've had a lovely slow Sunday morning, the best kind of Sunday mornings, and I uploaded my latest YouTube video, and I also made my first reel, which I'm sure will be up by the time you're watching this. So if you're over on Instagram, I would love to see you over there, because I'm just getting started over there and having a little try out of some short form content as well as here on YouTube. The pizzas we made last night turned out really well, and we've got plenty of leftovers for today, which is great news. And it's also the Silverstone F1 race today, so that will be fun to watch, and I'm gonna see if I can get some knitting done whilst that is on. I have a little green vest, like knit vest top. I think it's the petite knit cloud top pattern, which I have had on pause for ages, and I literally just need to finish the sleeves, so it's quite typical me. I'm gonna see if I can finish that while the race is on later. And I'm really pleased with the progress that I made on these trousers yesterday. They've come together pretty quickly, which is always really rewarding. I just made a start on the drawstring yesterday evening, and I'm making a little modification to the pattern, so I thought I would just give it a quick mention. In the original pattern, the drawstring is just sewed down one side and then turned inside out, which I think is fine if you have like a heavier weight material or something that doesn't fray much, or if you have, I think it's called fray check. I guess it's like, you know, like clear nail polish that you can put on the end of things to stop them from fraying, but I don't have any of that, and mine I know is going to be prone to fraying. So I did want to finish the ends of the tie. So what I decided to do, I've sewn the ends and then just trimmed the corners, and then I've sewed down to about the midway point on both sides, leaving a couple of inches gap in the middle. So I've now turned out this side. I'm going to turn out the opposite side through the little gap that I've left, and then I'll simply iron in the raw edges and top stitch the little gap closed. And I think that's a really good way to get a bit of a neater finish, because your ends are obviously going to be on the outside, but the middle will just be hidden in the waistband anyway. And then I've never done buttonholes before, so I guess we can learn together. I've also found a lovely podcast I've been listening to, Curious Readers, and one of the, or both of the presenters, I think, have been guests on the book club review, which is kind of how I stumbled upon it. But I've been listening to some of their latest episodes and loving it. So I would absolutely recommend Curious Readers if you are looking for another great book podcast.
I used to jump without looking. Didn't care if I fell too hard. Now I keep my hands in my pockets. Overthink every scar. I've traded daisy chains for loose ends and all connection. I've traded summer breaks for long nights and lost direction. I know I've made mistakes, but never learned my lesson. Where did she go? I swear she was just here, running the show, so unafraid. Wish I could go back to those days. Where did she go? Is she hiding in me? Behind dreams I used to dream. Help me see the world the way I used to do. My life was just cruel.
It's been a week since I started on my lane pants, and I think we are now on the home stretch. First up, the cloud top. I have now knit the armhole binding and the neck. The only things that I need to do left is weave in the ends and get this blocked. Now, I'm still super beginner at knitting. This is the first garment that I've knit, so it is certainly not perfect. I've got a couple of little holes, which I do know now that I could have fixed before I did my bind off, but I didn't know at the time, so we're just gonna roll with them. Second is the Sid tie top. I need to make some new ties, bind the neck, the edge, bind the armholes, and then hem the bottom. And last up, we've got the lane pants. Now, I have given these a little try on, and they are fitting. They're fitting well enough for a first pair. I definitely took too much out of the leg and the rise, but not enough that they're too short. It just means that I'm going to do a small double hem. For my next pair, I'm going to, I think, try to size down a size, so go with a size 8 and not adjust the rise or the legs at all. I also am going to fix a little bit of inaccuracy by hemming, as I've got a little bit of a step in this seam. really pleased that I've got all 3 of these things finished, and it's definitely been a good experience and a steep learning curve as well. I think I am most happy with the lane pants. I really like the fabric and I'm really happy with the length of them as well and the width of the legs. I think they, they look good enough to wear out and about, and next time I think that they would look better, even more high-waisted. But the fabric has been a really good choice, certainly a much better choice than the top. I think the top is probably the item that I'm the least happy with and also has been the most difficult to make. But I think I've learned some really valuable lessons from making this. First things first, I've definitely picked the wrong kind of material, I think. This is a really sturdy, thick linen, and honestly, I hadn't really considered how that could affect the finished item. I thought that maybe the top would simply be a bit more structured, but it is a little scratchy, honestly. I didn't even notice whilst I was working with it, but wearing it on is definitely rough against the skin. I think the ties and how much I struggle with them should maybe have been a giveaway for me, because the linen was so difficult to turn out. It was kind of a key that it was too thick, but by then I'd constructed the main part of the top anyway, so I didn't really want to backtrack by that point. So I do like the little gingham ties that I ended up going for, but I do think that the top, if I'd have made it in something that was more this style of fabric, it would have turned out a lot better. I also think that this is kind of an oversized flowy top, and because I've picked quite a sturdy fabric, I think that the top just simply looks too big for me, and I think if I wanted a structured, more fitted look, I should have sized down and really leaned into that, or I should have picked a fabric that really goes with that kind of oversized and flowy look, because this one definitely looks a bit caught in the middle. And third is the knit vest. Now similarly, I don't think the fit of this is quite right, but nonetheless, I have learned so much from making this and I'm happy enough with it. I think that it's a nice cropped length, but just slightly too wide for me. And so I think if it was more fitted in at the bottom, it would look okay with the wide shoulders, but with it being quite boxy and maybe slightly too wide, it does make me look maybe a little uneven. But I think I prefer it with a t-shirt underneath, so as the weather cools down a bit, I think this is going to be a lovely extra layer. And when I next wash it, I may just try and add a little bit of extra length, because I really did block this to size, and I think I could maybe get just a little bit more out of the length, which would help even it out a little bit. All in all, I think it's been a really good learning experience to make these things. They are my first finished garments for myself, and I think I can never expect the first ones to be quite right. If you have got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!